me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
We're really focused on is creating opportunities for social connection. I think it's more important now than ever. We have people glued to social media, glued to their phones, and I think we're really trying to create spaces to build community and bring people together to feel a sense of community, right? I think that is a major societal problem. Yes, Park and Rec, how can we be the glue and the connectivity to get people to feel connected to the community that inspires advocacy, that inspires volunteerism? All of that stuff gives you a sense of place within your community where you live, right? And that's, I think, one of the major goals of social wellness.
Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Rec Show, live from Orlando at the NRPA 2025 conference. Today, we're sitting down with Dr. Joshua Medeiros, the brand new chair of NRPA and a true leader who's been shaping this field for nearly a decade. In this episode, we dive into why Parks and Rec isn't just a nice to have, it's an essential service. From health and safety to social connection to the 7 dimensions of wellness, Dr. Medeiros shares how Parks and Rec professionals are building stronger, healthier, and more connected communities every day. If you've ever wondered how to tell the story of our profession, elevate its value, or inspire the next generation to join this calling, this conversation will leave you fired up. Let's dive in. All right, we are live again. This is Craig LeBlanc with the Daily Parks and Rec Show, here live from NRPA Convention. We have a very special guest, the new captain of the ship, Dr. Joshua. Here is now the chair for NRPA. It's a 2-year commitment, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Now, did you do it before, like maybe a couple years before, 2 years of, and then a little bit after, or how does that work?
So I'm in my 7th year, completing my 7th year on the board, so I've got 2 more to go to bring me to 9 for that's it. We've capped it out. So even if I want to stay, I'm out.
They're going to be kicking you out.
It's almost a decade.
He's the poster child for stay in school.
Yeah.
Volunteer. So I want to, we're going to blame Dr. Joshua for this video that we made. I had a great talk with him about reframing the whole conversation from Parks and Rec finding itself in this non-essential service category. And I want to do a part 2 on that, but I'm going to play this short video that we've been promoting. My talk with him inspired this, and then I want to get his take on it so we can go even deeper into why we think Parks and Rec is an essential service.
Cool, let's do it.
When we talk about essential services, what comes to mind? Police, firefighters, healthcare, but there's another essential service, often overlooked, yet always present: parks and recreation. Parks and Rec is health. It's the walking trail that lowers blood pressure, the recreation center where seniors fight isolation, the swim lessons that prevent tragedy before it happens. This isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Parks and Rec is safety, a playground instead of a street corner, a basketball court instead of trouble, a summer camp where every child belongs. It's not just about activity, it's about protection, prevention, and possibility. Parks and Rec is community, the festival that brings neighbors together, the cultural event that teaches respect and diversity, the open space where a city breathes. It builds bridges where division once stood. It gives people a reason to gather, to connect, to care. And Parks and Rec is economics. It strengthens property values. It drives tourism through events and trails. It saves on healthcare costs. Every dollar invested multiplies, feeding back into schools, into safety, into growth. Essential service is not just about survival, it's about thriving. And Parks and Recreation is where thriving begins. In wellness, in equity, in culture, and enjoy. Parks and Rec isn't extra. It's essential. For our health, for our safety, for our communities, for our future. A message from the Parks and Recreation community.
All right, so how do we do in representing your message there?
obsessed with that video. You guys killed it. I want to borrow that and then play that for my community back home. I want to play that for our city council. That was awesome.
Yeah,
Well done.
They did a really good job, and a lot of that came from our 1 hour interview of how we really
wow.
want to start reframing the conversation, because we recognize that so many Parks and Rec professionals were in front of council members just fighting for every dollar because they
Right.
were on the chopping block. And so maybe, where do you want to take Parks and Rec as far as NRPA's leadership this year? Because I know that was kind of one of your big, talking points.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the through lines that I think we've been hearing this entire conference is really about this. Parks and Rec is an essential service. And I think regardless of how divisive things are right now in the country, I think one thing we can all agree on, certainly at this conference, is that the work that we're doing is essential.
Mm-hmm.
So every keynote, every person you've heard from at our different sessions, we're all talking about the same thing, which is we are an essential service. And the question is, how do we get the broader community, how do we get elected officials, the people that are making these decisions around funding and investment,
Mm-hmm.
how do we get these folks to understand what we understand every day by living this work?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's certainly the goal of my term as chair of NRPA. It's the goal of our association. And it's the goal of everyone in this profession, is to keep trying to elevate our work and getting that message across.
Yeah. Now, what do you think are some of the points that, say, the elected officials or the council members that aren't fully immersed in Parks and Recreation, where do you think they're missing it? Is it just that we're just not that good at telling our story, or are they just think that other things are of higher value?
I think a little of both is what's happening. I think kind of like your video highlighted, right? I think there's common perception, right, that when you talk, oh, police, okay, yeah, we need police. No, I don't think anyone's going to argue that.
Right.
But I think when you hear Parks and Recreation, what that means to every person is different, right? So when I'm in Parks and Rec, even when you tell people what you do, they're like, oh, is that playing with kids all day? Like, I still get that question. It's like, no, but so I think it's a little bit of like, how do you tell a story of how complex, how dynamic Parks and Rec is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you talk to people at this conference, you have people that are running aquatics facilities, people that are youth sport directors. So it's just such a diverse platform, and it's hard to communicate that. No, even though the work is fun, the impact we're having is about fun and connection. It's so much more than that. And I think when we talked last, I started talking about those 7 dimensions of wellness, and that's something that we're doing in Bristol to try to tell that story. Is we are an essential health service, right?
Yes.
And here's all the different dimensions that we're hitting. So I think it's trying to frame the story in a way that layperson on the street can get, right?
Yeah.
Because Parks and Rec means something different, I think, to everyone.
Let's talk about those 7 dimensions of wellness.
Sure.
Can you kind of go through them one at a time, and then we kind of speak about them each?
Oh, geez. Yeah, I tap my memory here. I should know this. So physical wellness, that's really the first. I think it's the most obvious that we're doing. We're running physical activity programs, wellness, things like that. But there's also social wellness, emotional wellness, financial wellness, environmental wellness, cultural, and I'm forgetting the last one. Wait, that was 6 or was that 7? Social, emotional.
Those are some big ones, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's all out there. It's on NRPA's website. We're starting to embed that in the way we think about our programs, right? So we're no longer just talking about, okay, we run a basketball league. Now we're talking about the basketball league hits these dimensions of wellness.
Yeah.
And we're in the process right now of trying to collect data that basically will show what impact that program is having on those 7 dimensions. Because right now it's a lot of talk, right? Like we think these are effective programs. We have program satisfaction surveys. People are saying, oh, we love it. But we want to take a deeper step and really figure out, okay, what health benefits are you actually walking away with?
Right.
So we're really in kind of a data mindset right now, where I'm trying to make our agency really data focused, because that's part of telling that story, right? We want to be grounded in reality of what is the impact we're truly having, and then communicating that broadly so people understand, you're not just funding summer camp program, you're funding an essential service that is a lifeline to families. So that's what we're trying to tell through data, Craig.
Yeah, and it's that whole adage, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, that if you're worrying about health and wellness on the front end versus you're sick and now you're having to, pay for a cure, you're in hospitals, you're that kind of stuff. And so a lot of the health and wellness part that's in Parks and Rec is about living an active lifestyle, getting outdoors, doing activities. And that's to me, that is a big chunk of the health. That should be the whole front end of healthcare.
Intellectual wellness. That's the last 7 dimension. I knew it would come to me.
Yeah. And so let's talk about the other one as far as, let's see, what was it? It was financial, physical, the social part. Let's talk about the social part because Parks and Rec is that is a big chunk of where you can actually meet your community and even mesh cultures together inside your community.
Yeah, I think it's what we're really focused on is creating opportunities for social connection. I think it's more important now than ever. Obviously, we went through a pandemic not that long ago, even though it seems like a lifetime ago at this point. But that was a time of deep isolationism. And I think in some ways we're still coming out of that. We have people glued to social media, glued to their phones. And I think we're really trying to create spaces to build community and bring people together to feel a sense of community, right? I think that is a major societal problem. And how do we as Park and Rec, how can we be the glue and the connectivity to get people to feel connected to the community that inspires advocacy, that inspires volunteerism? All of that stuff gives you a sense of place within your community where you live, right? And that's, I think, one of the major goals of social wellness.
Yeah, definitely. And then I wanted to play one other quick video while I got you here. We created another one. This was actually our first one. So after we made our first one, it was yours that came up with the second idea.
Nice.
But this is actually why you would want to consider Parks and Rec as a career path. So that if you're an undecided college kid or high school kid or a part-time worker, you can play this for them and then maybe start a meaningful conversation, planting a seed. So we'll play this and then we'll come right back.
Every career is a choice, but few careers let you touch lives. Not once in a while, but every single day. Step into a park on a Saturday morning. You'll hear children laughing on the soccer field, families gathering for a picnic, seniors walking the trails, finding health and friendship. And behind every smile, every memory, is a Parks and Rec professional. We don't just mow fields, we grow confidence in young athletes. We don't just build playgrounds, we create safe spaces where childhood thrives. We don't just plan events, we design moments that anchor generations. Think of the coach who teaches patience, the director who champions equity, the staff member who sees potential in a child no one else believed in. Every day, Parks and Rec professionals shape character, preserve beauty, and strengthen community. And the path isn't easy. Budgets are tight, resources stretched thin, but the reward, unmatched. Because what you give comes back in legacy, in healthier communities, in lives forever changed. So why dedicate your life to Parks and Recreation? Because here, your work never ends. It lives on, in laughter echoing across playgrounds, in green spaces preserved for the next century, in the young professionals rising to lead tomorrow. This is not just a career, it's a calling, it's a legacy, it's Parks and Recreation. A message from the Parks and Rec community.
How we doing that message?
Oh, I'm obsessed with your videos. I gotta whoever you're using, I gotta hire them back home. This is great.
Yeah, we have 7 full-time video editors and content creators. There's actually 8 of us working about 400 or 500 hours a week on building this media company for this industry.
You guys are amazing. Thank you for the videos and all your work.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can give a short testimony. If you're, let's say you're giving a sales pitch or testimony to a group of undecided college kids,
Sure.
what message would you tell them and why they should dedicate their life to Parks and Recreation?
Sure, Craig. I don't know if you know this, but I'm also an adjunct professor at Southern Connecticut State University.
No
so
way.
I actually do this all the time, although I work in the recreation, tourism, and sport management department. But we do talk to students regularly and make the pitch that this truly is a great career. And kind of for what I highlighted earlier, right? There's so many different pathways that people can take depending on what their interests are. You love sports. A lot of people go into that, like, I want to be a professional. I want to run the NFL. I want to do this and that. And some of these people will do that work, right? But I think some of it's like you can meet what interests you at a local level. You can meet it at a state level and all these different things. So I think there's just a lot of opportunity, and Parks and Recreation is in any state. So there's a lot of mobility that can happen if you want to explore and get out there. Lots of options. And it's truly something, the work is different every day, right? I never show up to work and think, oh, geez, what am I going to do today?
Yeah.
It's often like, how am I going to get to everything I know I need to do today? Right. But so I think if you like a pathway that's allows you to tap into your creativity, has a lot of diversity of offerings and skill sets, I definitely think it's the place for you. But you gotta love the work, because it can be all consuming for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you don't do this because it's easy. You do it because it's fulfilling.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Oh my God, my pleasure, Craig.
Yeah.
I'd love to come back and do a deeper dive post-conference and
we're
keep
definitely
talking.
We're going to do a part 2 with you. And if you ever think of another idea that you said, man, if you had a little 2-minute video on this, we would more than happily create that.
I'll give you a list. I'll give you a list. There's lots of needs.
There you go. Chris and Kathleen, y'all hear it. Joby, he's going to be sending us a lot of work.
We'll keep you busy. Yeah, you'll be employed.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for your leadership today.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Take care.
At DPRS Media Co., we believe Parks and Recreation isn't just a service, it's the heartbeat of our communities. We exist to honor the people, the vendors, and the leaders shaping the future of Parks and Rec. Our mission is simple: to tell their stories, highlight their careers, and celebrate their essential work. Our vision is bold: to be the trusted hub where leaders, vendors, and communities unite, inspiring innovation, sharing wisdom, and building a stronger, healthier nation. Through over 220 live shows and 6 weekly series, the Leadership Series, Facility Maintenance, Young Professionals Network, Youth Sports Mastery, The Rec Room, and Growing Leaders, plus our industry-leading newsletter, the weekly Parks and Rec Post, we're building a media platform made for the Parks and Rec community. And now, we're inviting strategic partners to co-create this story with us. As a partner, you'll gain 12 hours of annual live exposure with custom shows highlighting your expertise, polished 60-second promos refined for maximum impact, year-round visibility with dozens of replays across our media network, premium features in our newsletter, and amplified social media reach across LinkedIn, X, and Facebook. This is your chance to educate, inspire, and lead while connecting directly with the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. This is DPRS Media Co. Let's build the future of Parks and Rec together.